Hi, I'm Jeff Curran. I'm the president of Fleet Cost and Care and also JJ Curran Crane Company. And I was just reading one of my favorite books, The Making of a Miracle, the untold story of the 1980 gold medal winning U.S. Olympic hockey team. But turns out time's been moving real quickly here and we're ready for Interface 2.0. I want to thank everyone on behalf of our Fleet Cost and Care team and welcome you to um, our virtual technology conference, Interface 2.0. Seems like we've been using the words virtual a lot this year. And this is going to be our second interface. And of course, this year, it's going to be a digital version of that. We know most of you have been attending a lot of these types of events, so we really appreciate you making time to do so. Together, we are better, and we hope to show you how and why we can all be better together over the next couple of days. We're very excited for that. Last count, we had about 150 people signed up for this conference over the next couple of days. It's so nice to see so many of you back here with us again. We look forward to meeting everybody in a virtual sense again. We have tremendous partners here today to join in with us. We really appreciate that. We've got our great staff from Fleet Cost and Care. We've got so many good friends and customers, our valued customers. And so we thank you again for joining us at Interface 2.0. Most of you, many of you might be working from home today. So we realize that this is all different, but many of us have been getting very accustomed to this. So if your cats or your dogs join in, don't worry about a thing. We've got some coffee breaks for you. We've got some breaks in the action for you, so you'll be able to take care of things and feel very comfortable here in our the sessions that we have for you. I may even be joined by Howard, our wonderful cat. Later on in the day, he typically sleeps through these early morning sessions, but he usually joins us in the late afternoon. So, and beyond that, I'm sure we have lots of great treats for you ahead, knowing that we're in the coming close to the Halloween season. Speaking of treats, last year in Nashville, so many of you joined us. We were very thankful for that, and so happy that you guys were able to participate in person with us in the great town of Nashville. We learned a lot from you. We shared a lot of ideas. We shared a lot of great, interesting topics, and came back with some exciting solutions and some better features and benefits that we're ready to show you more of here in the next couple of days. The feedback we got from that was amazing, and I'm sure the feedback that we'll be getting from you over the next couple of days will be very valuable once again. They've got a lot on my agenda here I've got to make announcements for, so bear with me as I flip the pages through that a bit. So last year, we had such great success in Nashville at the Interface that we wanted to make that an annual event, a yearly event. And so here we are. We were planning on that, and then here we go into the crazy 2020 that we've all been thrust into. And boy, has it been a historic year, a difficult year for so many people, but the perseverance that everybody has been showing around the world is just amazing. And we're very, very positive, and we're very thankful for what's happened in spite of these difficulties. We do feel for many of you out there that have been going through these terrible natural disasters. The fires in the West have affected many of our Fleet Cost and Care employees. They've affected many of our customers. The disruption's been real, and we're thinking about you and hoping that we can help you with your businesses, keeping you acclimated as much as possible and be able to see good days ahead. Also, our friends to the south and in the Gulf region have been affected by so many hurricanes. We've got another one brewing in there yet this week. So it's been a challenging year for everyone, and I guess that's an understatement to say that. We know you're working hard, keeping your employees working and moving forward. in that sense. And sometimes work is good for us. It keeps us busy and keeps our mind off the difficult challenges we have. So once again, we're thankful that you've been helping us keep our business going as well here. So when the pandemic hit last March, many of us were actually in Las Vegas at ConExpo, and everything changed overnight. But the surprising thing is we were all nervous. We have been so amazed by how much work we've been able to do together with everyone. Our customers have been working hard with our customer success managers. We've got projects going. We've got implementations going. More mobile licenses than ever. The Atom mobile licenses are really mainstreamed. And people are giving us great feedback about how things are working for them. And the group at Fleet Cost and Care has been listening and building best practices and better practices for all of you as we go. We've also been hard at work developing this conference. I'm really excited for the benefits that you all could achieve by spending time here. A lot of these meetings are going on and you have a lot of distractions, and we know that this is hard for you to spend time with us, but we really feel it's going to be beneficial for everybody. The amount of material we have to provide to you is going to be excellent, including our growing library of training material and resources. So a lot of content, a lot of features, and things that you'll be able to benefit from by spending some time with us. And we look forward to your feedback on that. Perhaps most important is, what we're working on to continue to benefit your companies in the days ahead. I really think we are dawning onto an era of greatness here. This industry is it never stops in the dedication that people show, and so we want to do our part, and we want to create the features and the innovation that all of you are helping us provide. And so we'll have a product roadmap for you to take a good look at, and the guys and the whole team are going to be explaining a number of elements that'll we think you'll find very positive, very beneficial. I would also, now I've got to say, with all this excitement going on, I do have to make you aware of that in the next year, a year from now in October, we are planning hopefully an in-person conference, and that will be, I guess we'll call that Interface 3.0. And because people enjoyed Nashville so much, we've decided to keep it back in that same location. Seems to be a good location for people that are coming from various different areas of the country and the world. So we're excited to announce that. We did visit a lot of great places there. We had a lot of fun. The hotel we were at did an amazing job. The city is such a fun and cool place. But there's plenty more to explore together, and we'll be planning that for you in the days ahead, and getting a lot of information out to you. We hope you will share that with your coworkers, your staff, your friends, and we hope to make that a bigger and better success than we can imagine. So transitioning back to today, this is going to be a great couple of days. We want to keep the focus on. I think you're going to be amazed with what we have to show you. Looking back on what was accomplished this year, it's just been incredible. And I'm really excited about all the positive work going on from every one of our valued customers, our partners. The work never ends in that regard. So we've got a lot to show you. So we're going to be moving on to that. We have some great presentations for you. But before I move on to that, there was some exciting news that Fleet Cost and Care made recently, and it has to do with a session we have scheduled for later in the day tomorrow. As you know, we're an IndyCar sponsor, and we're a part of the Rahal Letterman Lanigan racing team. We're never too far away from our friends over there, and how much they inspire us. And so we will be joined tomorrow. By the way, we won the Indianapolis 500, which was run in August this year. Our driver, Takuma Sato, was victorious and Graham Rahal was third. So that was amazing. And of course, many of you know there were no fans at it. So we'll be talking to Lee tomorrow. Lee Diffie joins us for a question and answer. Lee is the lead NBC announcer. Lee does all the auto sports. He does Olympic coverage. The Olympics are coming up this summer, and just a great friend of ours. So we're looking forward to spending time with him tomorrow. You might even, people in the East, you might even maybe have a little cocktail. It's that part of the day. After a couple of days that we put you through, you might enjoy a cocktail or maybe a soft drink with us at that time. I just want to end things on a great note. I know together we are better, and all the valued help that you give us, we really appreciate it. And we thank you for joining us here. My time is up now, and I've got a couple of great teammates here coming behind me. Jack Curran, my son, will be broadcasting. He's, believe it or not, he's broadcasting from Northern Michigan because that's kind of the way 2020 works. You do this from anywhere. And then also we'll be joined by Andrew Lodge, who's out in the far western West Coast region of the U.S. So with that, I thank everybody, and I'm really looking forward to spending time with you all in the next couple of days, and I'm going to let you guys take it away.
All right, thank you very much, Jeff, for those opening remarks and the introduction. Once again, if you don't know me, I'm Jack Curran, the Director of North American Sales at Fleet Cost and Care, and I'm joined today by Andrew Lodge, who is our Technical Product Analyst that oversaw the design of Sales Assistant. So on behalf of Fleet Cost and Care, we are so excited for you guys all to be here today, virtually, and kick off Interface 2.0. It's hard to believe that it was only a year ago that many of us were in Nashville for the first year of Interface. Feels like it was closer to 10 years ago. But either way, we are thrilled about how that event went and the positive feedback. If you attended last year, welcome back. And if this is your first time attending, it's great to have you with us. We think this year is going to be even more informative. As Jeff mentioned, Andrew's joining us from actually just outside Portland, Oregon. I'm presenting from my family's place at Boyne Mountain up in northern Michigan, kind of near Mackinac Island, which is a place I've been coming to since I was a kid. And it's actually belonged to our family for over 50 years. In particular, it's particularly beautiful up here in the fall with the leaves changing. So my fiance and I thought we'd come up here with our golden retriever, Stevie, to work for the week. It's also full of many family pictures. If you attended the opening session of Interface last year, you might remember we showed an old family photo of my dad as a kid and the whole family posing on a crane at the J.J. Curran Crane Yard, probably taken around sometime in 1975. I'd like to continue that tradition. We often joke about how young my dad looks, but as evidence, here he is. Try to hold this up so you guys can see. He doesn't look quite old enough to buy cigarettes, but yet here I am, your future Director of North American Sales. Also want to give a shout out to my grandpa, JJ. He's a legend in his own right, and without him, Jeff and I wouldn't be here doing this. Also just want to point out that the boat, hopefully this isn't backwards, might be. I'll point out that the boat is called the Irish Wake 4. My grandpa wasn't the most creative when it came to naming, as evidenced by giving all his boats the exact same name or naming his company the J.J. Curran Crane Company. But that's okay. He was great at a lot of other stuff. And so with that, I'll go ahead and start our presentation. Okay. So the topic of today's presentation is how Sales Assistant can enhance the productivity and the success of your sales team. Toward the end of the presentation, we're going to show some of the, at some point, I'm going to turn over to Andrew to provide a demonstration. Also, we're going to show some of the more sales-focused dashboards that we've created through Microsoft Power BI, which is a reporting tool that provides a visualization of your data in order to analyze and boost your sales numbers. So Sales Assistant is the new task management feature that is now available within Nexion and Atom. And this is something that I was particularly passionate about making available within our system. First, because many of our customers have requested this type of functionality, but also because as both a salesperson and manager, I know the importance of a CRM tool. My first job out of college was actually as an account manager at a software startup that provided solutions to the residential real estate industry. And that was my first introduction to using a CRM. I logged every call, meeting, or customer contact, my boss would put up signs in the office with the question, if it's not in the CRM, did it happen? The point being, if a discussion happened with a customer, but it's not in the CRM, how could your boss or anyone else on your team know that it occurred, know what was discussed, or were there any next steps? Also, if you're speaking with dozens of customers a day, how are you supposed to keep track of everything if you don't keep good notes or assign yourself an action item of what still needs to be accomplished? I've also worked sales jobs where we didn't have a tool like Sales Assistant. I ended up creating reminders in Outlook, and I'd enter my notes about every conversation and opportunity. And over time, I had so many reminders that it was impossible to search for what I was looking for or see which reminders had hard deadlines. Then I'd create a separate Word document with my high priority follow-ups. And then that became so long that I switched to Post-it notes. And then when I ran out of room for Post-it notes, I'd set alarms in my phone. And you get the point. Without a tool that could easily allow me to centralize my notes of interactions with customers and collaborate with my team, I ended up wasting a ton of time, and I wasn't as productive as I could have been. Probably lost out on some sales as a result as well. Now that I'm in a sales manager role, I understand the benefits from the other side of the table. I can see what actions my team is taking to drive sales. I can also assign tasks to my team, see when they're being completed without having to call and ask, hey, did you call that prospect that I asked you to? I want to be able to trust my people that they're doing what they should be, but I also want a tool that helps them to verify that they're completing their tasks without wasting both of our times just checking in with them. Besides providing an overview of Sales Assistant, I wanted to discuss another solution that I think could have a major impact on our customers, which is Microsoft Power BI. If you're not familiar, this is an enhanced reporting tool that we use within our own organizations, both JJ Curran Crane and Fleet Cost and Care. And we've been providing consulting services for many of our customers to set up those dashboards. They can be very helpful with deciphering information, identifying trends, and making important decisions about your fleet and workforce. Power BI can take data directly from NextGen, as well as other databases like your accounting program or GPS. In this presentation, we're only going to focus on the dashboards that help track sales and job profitability. And at the end of the session, if you're interested in getting more information, Assistant or Microsoft Power BI, I'll include instructions on how you can request that. First, if you're still not exactly sure what Sales Assistant is yet, or if it could help your organization, we'll be discussing how it compares to a traditional CRM. Then I'll be turning it over to Andrew for a short, high-level demonstration. Just making sure my internet's okay here. Said I had an issue there. Let me know if Matt, feel free to chat me if it's coming across choppy. Anyway, so I'll be turning over to Andrew for a short high-level demonstration. At the end, I'll show some of these Microsoft Power BI reports related to sales tracking sales activities, quoting, job profitability by salesperson, and estimated versus actual billing by salesperson. Please note that we are having a full Sales Assistant training session at 2 p.m. Central. That's 3 p.m. Eastern today. During that session, Andrew is going to be showing how to do the setup and configuration, as well as how to assign and complete tasks within NextGen and Atom. We're not going to be taking any questions during this presentation. So if you do have questions about Sales Assistant, please write them down, and then there's going to be time to ask them during that training session at 2 p.m. Central. So what is Sales Assistant? Taking a quick step back, it was originally conceived of as a CRM Lite, meaning that it offers basic CRM functionality, but still provides most of what our customers use CRMs for. You can assign tasks in NextGen or Atom to track sales activities and trigger notifications to remind yourself or other salespeople of important follow-up tasks. These tasks can be assigned at the quote or customer level. That means that once you create a quote, you can assign yourself a follow-up task related to that specific opportunity. However, if there isn't a quote, like perhaps this is a new prospect that you're trying to create a relationship with, or a customer in which you're trying to do more business with, you can assign tasks directly to that customer, meaning that without there being an open quote first. When someone assigns a task to someone else, that assignee will immediately receive an email notification about it. Also, salespeople can use Atom, where there is now an icon that'll appear that says tasks to look up their own task list. Like in other areas of Atom, there are hyperlinks that allow you allow for a quick lookup of specific tasks, such as which tasks they've assigned themselves or were assigned, and which are due today or coming due within the week. You could set reminder dates, due dates, and prioritize your tasks in order to focus on which specific quotes, customers, or prospects are most likely to generate revenue. The key benefits of Sales Assistant. First, centralization. Our goal from the very beginning of Fleet Cost and Care has been to reduce or eliminate the need for separate systems, which, if not integrated, will require more time to manage and enter data. Sales Assistant allows you to manage your sales activities in the same system you complete all of your other operational tasks. Activities and touch points drive sales. This is something that I've heard at basically every company I've worked at, and it's especially true when it comes to nurturing new prospects or trying to get more business from specific customers. You've always had the ability to see quotes in NextGen, but now you can see if your salespeople are following up on their quotes, and just as important, you can see which of your salespeople are out visiting with customers, setting up meetings, and trying to create new business on their own. When it comes to incoming calls to the office, from a new prospect or customer that doesn't have a assigned salesperson, or if there isn't someone available in the office, what is the process for ensuring that salesperson follows up with that prospect? If the person taking the call sends an email or text to the salesperson, what are the odds that it gets missed, forgotten about, or not seen in time? Or even worse, what if they take a note and leave it on their desk? Instead, the person answering the phone could assign a task in NextGen with Sales Assistant, and you'll know that it went to their list of tasks, and then can verify if it was followed up on appropriately. Salespeople can already use Adam for quoting, managing customer and job site information, viewing schedules and equipment availability, and accessing accessing the invoices for their jobs. Now, with the addition of Sales Assistant, Adam is an even more powerful, cost-effective tool that enables your team to do their jobs from anywhere with their mobile device. Last, but maybe most importantly, this feature is covered under your general enhancements, so there's no additional cost to use Sales Assistant. I'll remind everyone again at the end of the presentation, but we suggest reaching out to your CSMs, your customer success managers. And if you don't know who that is, you can reach out to me or support, and we'll determine if we have to schedule an update, and then can assist you with the setup and training. The training is included because we believe in the benefits of Sales Assistant, and we want you to be able to take advantage of it. Sorry, just checking my time here. So this Sales Assistant versus traditional CRMs. This is in no way a shot at CRM providers. As I mentioned earlier, I think they're very helpful tools, and I've had experience using them at several companies before I joined Fleet Cost and Care. We actually use one here, but not only for sales. It also helps with us tracking our product development, support, case management, marketing automation, and a number of other things. They're very rich with features, and they've worked well at the software companies I've worked at. However, I don't find that CRMs like Salesforce to be a great fit for the equipment rental industry. They don't do dispatching well. They don't offer a simple, easy to use service or repair shop application, and they don't have the industry expertise to train your staff on how to best use the system. What I found from speaking with many equipment rental companies over the years is that those that do have a CRM, it's often underutilized in terms of what it can offer. They're paying a lot for it, but they're only using the system in a very narrow, specific way. The most expensive CRM systems can run more than $1,000 per license per year, and that doesn't include support or training. When you compare that with the cost of Adam, which is a one-time purchase of $415, so you pay one time that $415, and then you pay about $100 a year that covers the support and enhancements. The cost of Adam is much more affordable. When you look at a 5-year cost of ownership, a CRM license can cost more than 5 times that of an Adam license would, and you're still going to be paying the same rate, the same cost annually for that subscription license, as opposed to just paying about $100 a year for Adam. Several of our customers use CRMs without an integration. And in fact, Andrew, who I'm going to be turning it over to shortly, actually used to work for one of our customers, and that's how they used NextGen and their CRM. They used it in standalone fashions. So Andrew does have experience, like I said, working at one of our customers that use NextGen and a CRM. And what they did there was that they tracked their opportunities and customer touch points in the CRM. And once that quote was approved, someone else had to enter it into NextGen. The problem with that, obviously, is that you're entering the information in twice. And then also that person creating the invoice might not see the estimated billing info. And it limits the reporting abilities in both systems because the data is now separated in two different places. We've also built a number of integrations between NextGen and CRMs. Again, the problem is that CRMs can be so customized and used in so many different ways across organizations. Each integration ends up being a one-off project with little standardization of processes, and it limits the effectiveness of both systems because they weren't designed to be used in this way. One thing that CRMs can do particularly well is allow for easy customization of reports and dashboards. We've provided an alternative solution to this by building out dashboards for our customers with Microsoft Power BI. So to clarify, this is a third-party tool. There are others out there that offer the same functionality. You also do not have to hire us as a consultant if you already have someone in your organization that knows how to create these dashboards. However, if you do want to hire us, we charge an hourly rate for our time, and the cost is based on our efforts. We have some templates that are already created and pretty much ready to go. And then we can also create something completely customized for you. These dashboards are really a visualization of data pulling from multiple reports, all in the same view, with the ability to drill down with just a few clicks. As I mentioned before, I'm going to show a few examples that we've created that are focused on sales, but we also have other templates for reports like equipment utilization, productive versus non-productive labor analysis, and preventive maintenance. But now at this point, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Andrew for a demonstration of Sales Assistant.
All right, thanks, Jack. So we're going to talk about a few of the details of Sales Assistant. And like Jack already started to let everybody know, tasks are a key feature of the Sales Assistant. And it's always interesting to define a very basic term without using the term itself. So a task is an entity that lets me schedule follow-up activities, follow-up actions, follow-up events related to our CRM features. The nice thing is we already have a lot of CRM pieces already built into NextGen. We've got our ability to add customers and contacts, to generate quotes, to send them off, to convert them into a job, to crunch numbers and create some reports after we're done. So this task feature is kind of the last piece of the puzzle to help tie together all these features that you've already got. This is a look at what a task is, what the specific entity is, and it's got all these fields and they all have meanings, and we're going to get into them. And for anything to work as a system, as a full CRM package for you, there is a devilish number of details. And I drew the straw to present the devilish number of details. So I'm going to get ready to maybe open the fire hose up a little bit, and I'm going to throw a bunch of information at you. We'll make my slides available later. There's a training this afternoon. So if I go a little too fast and gloss over something that you want to press in on, just note it, bring the question to the afternoon session, and we'll get you all the information you need. So without further ado, we're going to open up the fire hose of details here. Place where we're going to start is where I find my tasks. And there's 3 places that I can find my tasks. The first one is a screen y'all working already a bunch, is the Maintain Customers screen. And if I go to the customer screen and I scroll over after you've enabled Sales Assistant, you're going to see this new tab at the end called the Tasks tab. The next place, very analogously, is the Enter Quotes screens. Again, if you're in sales management, you work on these screens all the time. And as many of you know, we've got 3 different types of quote screens, right? There's the job, trucking, and work order quotes. Each of those will open their respective screens, and each of those screens has a task tab, just like the Maintain Customers tab. Then there's a third place I can go to find my tasks if I am not the one that wrote the task, or I don't remember that the task is there. I can go look up all of my tasks. I'm going to do that by navigating through this menu cascade here, Maintain Sales Assistant, and I'm going to go to Task Lookup. And that's going to give me this screen right here. And if I click View, I get, in this case, all of our tasks because I haven't constrained my filters yet. So there's 3 places that I can go to find my tasks. Next thing we're going to look at briefly is how do tasks work? picking back up where we left off right at this task lookup screen, we can see that I've got several different filter fields up top. First one is record types. And if I click on that, I'm going to get a drop down, and this may start to feel repetitive. That's intentional. A task is always a child of either a customer or a quote. Tasks are, as a CRM component, are always associated with customers or quotes. The next set of filters gets to a couple of the key pieces of tasks, and that's the assignee and the assigner. The meaning of the terms are pretty basic. The assignee is the person who the task is assigned to, and the assigner is the person who created the task. Those two fields we're pulling from our list of users. And for a lot of our organizations, that list of users is very, very long. We're here to save you time, not waste your time scrolling all day. So to help you get a shorter list of potential assignees, we're going to further filter those lists by shared company, yard, and department. There's a few more details that are involved in setting those up, and that's on the list of things that we're going to cover in a little bit more depth this afternoon. Dates are a couple other key features of the sales assistant, and you can see right there we've got two different dates that we add to tasks. There's a due date and a reminder date. The dates likewise are also a little bit involved, and those are also on the list of things that we're going to press into a little bit more depth this afternoon. So I'm back up here in my fairly broad wild search, and if I click view, I get this grid, and that grid's going to be by default sorted by due date. So I'm going to see the furthest out due tasks on top, and then like you see the ones down below, anything that's past due is going to be in red. I could come over and sort by any of the other columns if I wanted to. I personally like to sort by priorities quite often, so I've sorted by priority here. And if I need to, I can drag the columns over, put them wherever I want, so that it's a little bit intuitive for what the question that I happen to be asking the system right now. So if I was working in this, maybe I want to make the title nice and wide. I want to see priority next. I've sorted based on priority, and then I can see all my past due high priority tasks right there on top. If I'm working in sales and I want to come in and ask the question, what do I need to do today? I'm probably going to do a search like this. I'm going to put myself as the assignee, and I'm going to look for tasks assigned from anybody, click view, and I'm going to get this grid. Like I usually do, I've sorted this grid by priority, and I can see my high priority tasks right up there on top. If I'm a manager or a sales manager, I might do this kind of a search where I'm going to look for all tasks where I am the assigner. That way I'm going to get a view down here of tasks that I've assigned to anybody else, so I know who I need to follow up with. Click view, and I get a grid. And we can see over here on the right that I still have a bunch of tasks that were assigned to myself, because I can be the assignee and the assigner both, but I also see that task up there on top that's been assigned to Jack. That task that's assigned to Jack, I can click down below and I can see a whole bunch of details about that task from the lookup screen. Then if I need to go make changes to a task, I can just double click on the grid and it will navigate me to the customer screen of that particular task. So we're circling around looking at the various ways that I can get to the details of my task. And as a recap, one of them is maintain customers, the tasks tab. The others are my various kind of quotes, again, the task tab. Or I can double click on the task lookup screen, and any which of those approach angles I take, I end up at the task tab of my entity, where I can work on the details of my task down below. The title is a free text field. I can title it whatever I want. Very wise to give it a title that is unique so that I can find it in a search later. The due date and reminder date are fairly self-explanatory what they mean. There are a couple of uniquenesses of how they work that we're going to talk about this afternoon. In short, right now, they work very similar to a job date, where a dispatcher will roll in and look up their job schedule based on the job date. Or in this case, a salesperson can roll in and search for their task based on either due date or reminder date. And again, we'll press into those with more depth this afternoon. Priority is a drop-down list This is configurable. You can set your own priorities. Type also is configurable. You can set your own types based on the sorts of events that you want to log of, because kind of like Jack was hinting at earlier, from a CRM perspective, if I don't log it, it might not have happened. As a real brief foreshadowing to this afternoon, I can configure those types and priorities through this Maintain Sales Assistant task setup screen. And then I'll get this screen right here, and we're going to probe that screen a little bit more this afternoon. If I'm going to the details of a task, or if in this case I've added a new task, by default, I am going to be the assignee. And then I can go in and populate the details of this task. And in this case, I put Jack as the assignee, as you can see right there. Now, when I try to save a task that is assigned to somebody else, I'm going to get a question. And the system is going to ask me if I want to send a notification email to that recipient. I'm going to go ahead and say yes. And behind the scenes, we're going to automatically send an email to Jack or whoever the assignee is. And I, as the assigner, am also going to get CC'd. And this is what the email is going to look like if I open it up. And this is just, I opened that task up in Microsoft Outlook is what it looks like. Yours may look a little bit different if you use a different email client. Some of the key features of the email is the recipients. Again, Jack as the assignee, it's to him. I as the assigner am CC'd. The sending address works a little bit differently, whether you are sending it from Atom versus NextGen. And we're going to talk a little bit about the sending addresses and the configuration of emails in your system. It's also on the list of details that we need to dig a little deeper into this afternoon. The body of the email is going to be kind of the Cliff Notes version of the tasks, so that whoever you flipped this task to can at a glance on their phone, their tablet, from where they're at, see what they've got coming, see when it's due, see what the priority is. And then the subject line has just some real bulleted data points about the task. And the reason that we did that is so that you can set up filters and alerts within Outlook or whatever your client is, so that you can sift through the wheat from the chaff. You know, we're here to try to save you time. We do not want to blow up your inbox and end up wasting your time. So most of our design features are here to try to get you real fast to your real high priority tasks, so that you can focus where you need to and get back to your family and whatever else you want to do. So here's the email. And again, we are going to dig into emailing a little bit deeper this afternoon. The next question, and I put this question in there and Jack already told you the answer earlier. Yes, it works from Atom. We're going to run through how it works from Atom. Basically, it works the same 3 places I go to enter tasks in NextGen. I go to enter those same tasks in Atom, which is the maintain customers, enter quotes, and then I've got a task lookup screen. So we're going to run through Atom real quick. Through these slides, Android's going to be on your left, iOS on your right. Whichever one you use, just feel free to watch that column. You're not going to miss anything that's on the other side of the screen. They're just going to track in parallel. So I don't want you to get dizzy trying to look back and forth. Look at whichever one's most appropriate to you. So my task lookup screen from Atom is going to be this icon right here. And if I click that, it's going to take me to this lookup screen. From here, there's 3 different ways that I could get to my list of tasks. The first one is these quick lookups. The meaning of each of those is fairly self-explanatory. And if I click on one of them, I'm going to get a list of tasks that correspond to those filters. So in this case, I've got 3 tasks that showed up. And if I click on the body of any of those tasks, it's going to take me to the task detail pane of that particular task. You know, in this case, I clicked through the links and I've got to a quote related task. And I would not want to have to go from this task and remember what quote it is and back out to go to my quotes. So we made it linkable. So if you see down there, this particular task is related to quote C10111. If I click that, you know, blue hyperlink looking thing, it works like a hyperlink and takes me to my quote. Again, we're working pretty hard to try to save everybody time here. Next place I can go to look at my tasks is up here at the top. If I happen to know the customer or know the quote number, I could just type it in right there in the box, click view, and it's going to take me to that customer or take me to that quote. The third way is a little bit more robust. It's the way I like to use quite a bit. If I click on the magnifying glass, I'm going to get to this detailed task lookup screen. And a lot of you are really familiar with the controls and the appearance and how this works. This looks very similar. This works very similar as if you were looking up a quote or a job or a customer. A lot of you use this function already. So I've got my date fields up there. Again, I can choose to look at by date or due date or reminder date or both of them. And then down below, I can add any number of filters that I need to. In this case, I'm searching all tasks within that date range. I'm going to get a lot of results. Or I could click on the tasks and then I could filter by a different attribute. Almost every attribute of the task is searchable in Atom. It's one of the nice things about the mobile platform is it gives me quite a bit of flexibility for my lookups. So I may come back up here, and this is the same search that we looked at me making from the next gen side, where I just got myself as the assignee, and then I got, in this case, I got a really broad date range, and I'm going to look and see what tasks I've got. If I want to add filters, I can just click the button in the bottom right. When I add those filters, again, any of the attributes of a task are searchable, and priority and type, like we looked at before, those are going to be the drop-down lists that you are able to configure. Another couple of interesting things about the search from Atom that I just wanted to highlight real quick for you is the comments field and the title fields. We will search for a string within a string. So I could do a search like this where I'm looking for the word power line in any of my comments. And that's going to be really helpful for me from maybe say a safety perspective. If I just want to make a reminder for myself to follow up on power lines, ground bearing pressure, lift plans, I can type that in the title, or I can type it in the comments, do a search for it later, and I'll find those tasks that are associated with the things that I want to look up. I could do something similar for a name in the title. If I don't remember if I wrote this quote for the general or the sub or a different sub, I can just search for, I know I sent it to Allison. She's the project manager I was talking to. And so I get a little bit more power in my lookups from Atom's side, from mobile, from the field, which is, we're just really trying to work hard to help everybody save time and focus on the information, the tasks, the activities that are most relevant to get them going for their day. So I'm back up here. This is the search that I made. If I screwed up and added too many filters and I'm not seeing enough results, I could just always click the red X, get rid of a couple of filters, and get a bigger list. Either of those searches, I'm going to be right back here at this screen, get my list of tasks. And like I showed you a few slides ago, I can click on one of those tasks and navigate a little bit deeper into my workflow, work on my task, complete it, pass it to somebody else. So we're really just trying to help everybody focus on what needs to be done, what are my high priority tasks, what's important, what's due now, save everybody time. This afternoon, we're going to get into a few more of the details from an administrative perspective. I know I went really fast over a lot of things this morning. So this afternoon, we're going to get a little bit deeper into some of the administrative setup. There's a couple of details that really count in there as far as menu security, email setup. We'll need to set up your types and priorities properly. We're going to talk a little bit more about dates and how those work. Emailing, I've already mentioned that. And then we're going to look a little bit more closely about that kind of filtering of the assignees to get all your users configured so they see the right list of people without seeing too many people. And then again, this afternoon, we're going to take a little bit of time and address any questions that you might have had in this presentation, something you wanted us to touch on a little bit more, or questions that would come up in the presentation later this afternoon. So I just want to say thanks everybody for your time and your patience looking at this. Bring your questions this afternoon. And with that, I'm going to pass it back to Jack.
Well, thank you very much, Andrew. That was really helpful, and like I said, we're very happy to begin rolling this feature out for you guys. If it seemed like a lot of information taken in at once, don't worry. As mentioned earlier, we're going to be doing some more comprehensive training this afternoon at 2 p.m. Central, and then we can also set up individual trainings with your company. Just reach out to your CSMs or us, contact support at support@fleetcostcare.com. So moving on, these are some of the Microsoft Power BI dashboards that I think can have a major impact and influence on the success of your sales team. They're examples of what we use at JJ Curran Crane and Fleet Cost and Care, and by giving them the information needed to make informed decisions without spending a ton of time trying to slice and dice data across multiple reports. So at this point, it is a web-based feature here, and I'm going to show, like I said, the ones that I think are most relevant. So first off, this is our task summary. So related to what we just looked at with Sales Assistant. So it's a great view for a sales manager to see what their team is working on, see if there are any overdue tasks. You can kind of sort it by due date here, or sort them by quote amount. And you can see what you can do to help your sales team close any of these larger opportunities that are out there. I'm just going to skip ahead to one. These are tasks by assignee. So really what it does is allow you to focus on individual salespeople and what tasks they have pending or completed. And as you kind of drill in or change this, it'll filter out or adjust the information that you're looking at. This view is probably my favorite, especially for seeing what my team is doing to schedule meetings outside the office. Are they setting up lunch meetings? Are they taking customers out to golf? Are they making site visits? Especially if you want your guys out of the office out in the field, but you want to be able to see, okay, what might they be actually doing and within their with their time. And then tasks due this week. Again, this is a simple, self-explanatory report here, but it's really the first thing that I pull up on a Monday morning to see what my team has planned for that week. Another one, so sales performance. This lets me see how many quotes my team is creating, as well as KPIs, like how well they're doing at converting those opportunities to jobs. And then I can drill into individual months, and the summary fields will change to reflect that. Salesperson overview. Okay. Sorry, salesperson overview. This is an overview, allows me to isolate information for just one or particular group of salespeople. I just want to see a specific a team or an individual. Again, it's very easy to kind of click through, it's interactive, and see what I want to see without having to make a lot of clicks or look at a lot of different reports all at once, or export reports into Excel and try to slice and dice that way. Another report I like is the lost quotes analysis. Not that I like looking at how many quotes we might be losing, but it's important to look back and see, why you're losing out on quotes. Are there any trends there? Are there any things that you can learn? Are you losing out on jobs because the equipment needed for the job isn't available? Is it being priced too high? Do you need to, can you make any changes based off of this information? Again, I could spend another. It's actually. Let me go back a time frame. Okay, so there's a couple, maybe some more lost quotes back here. Again, this is pulling from our demo database, but I think this could give you the idea of the capabilities of what we can do within Power BI. One other one I wanted to show is job profit revenue by salesperson. Now, this is a great report that we have here. I particularly like how quickly you can click between salespeople and kind of isolate their numbers and see how they're doing. kind of see what kind of see their jobs, what kind of margins they're making. So if I want to click on just an individual salesperson here, it'll rework the numbers here and the dashboard visualization. And again, this is kind of a summary view on things. If I wanted to kind of drill down and see more detail, I could click here into these individual jobs. And I'm just going to kind of click one at random here. When I right click it, go to the drill through. Now I can see a screen that really breaks down all the expenses and revenue for this particular job, this job on its own. I could probably spend a lot of time demoing just these Power BI reports too. So that's why I just want to show more of like an overview of what's possible. Of course, we can have, like I said, these are the canned ones or the templates that we already have ready built. We've been doing a lot of customization ones. The last one I want to show that I think is helpful, again, from a sales manager's perspective, is this jobs revenue forecast report. But what this does is help kind of, this area over here shows the estimated versus actual billing by salesperson. So relevant in that you can see which how accurately your sales team is quoting and then forecasting your revenue based on the opportunities they've already closed. Again, these are examples. If there's something more specific you have in mind, we can work on creating customized views for you. Just based on what we our time required to do that. At this point, I am going to go ahead and kind of wrap up our presentation. I want to show just a few things at the end here. Again, we're adding sales assistant is available right now. So, and you might have questions. Hey, are you adding sales assistant reports within NextGen? And the answer is yes. They're coming. They're written in Telerik, which is kind of the way we're going to be writing our reports moving forward. So again, they're going to be coming as enhancements within the coming months. And also, we expect to get a lot of ideas for enhancements on sales assistant and ways to improvement. This is kind of the first phase of it. So please don't hesitate to show your feedback with your CRSMs and what you'd like to see us add to sales assistant. So at this point, this kind of wraps up our presentation today. Hope you found it helpful. If you have any questions or interest in setting up sales assistant or speaking to us about Microsoft Power BI, let us know. We can definitely schedule a one-on-one meeting. And don't forget that our next session is starting at 11:30 a.m. Central. That's 12:30 p.m. Eastern, about dispatching best practices with Kyle and Taylor. So I want to thank, again, Andrew for his help on this presentation and Jeff for those opening remarks. And at this point, I'm going to go ahead and say thank you very much for attending our opening session here and look forward to speaking to you guys and hopefully seeing everyone in person next year or hopefully sooner. Thanks, and have a great day.